Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Arcanum. Mr. Drake, after having successfully negotiated this long, snaking, trap-filled corridor, has arrived at the end and found a lone dwarf. So he's going to talk to him in hopes of finding out exactly what's happened to the Black Mountain clan. So, why have you come? I will not go. I spit on the judgment of the Wheel clan, elven pawns. It comes to this, it does. I'm ashamed for myself and my kind, I say. I don't understand, sir. I'm only here to find the Black Mountain clan. Betrayal it was. Myself, the clan of the Wheel, betray us all, sent to despair without hope for return. It was Stenner and the boy, Stenner and Bates. We all paid the burden of shame. Who are you? Gudman Orbender of the Mountains Black I am, shamed, betrayer, but not. I did what must be done. I alone stood for the right. Yours is not to judge. Mine is the harshest judgment of all. Where is your clan? Gone. Gone to their despair. An island of death and hate, the unholy place of judgment. I just don't understand what it is you're trying to tell me, sir. Gaze upon the pillar of truth for your answers. Too long has my mind been consumed with my traps and those waiting for me to slip and show weakness. They're here, you know. Waiting, hiding in the shadows. So you've been down here 70 years laying traps and waiting? My traps keep me safe. Our homes must be protected to the end of days. Much evil is afoot. Well, I'm sorry, but I can see I won't be getting much from you. Good day, sir. Alright, he did mention something about a pillar of truth, and Mr. Drake sees that this pillar is of obviously dwarven origins. Its front is covered with roughly hewn writing that does not appear to be a part of the pillar's original design, so he'll inspect that further. And it says, I'm not proud as I set this down, but it must be known, I, Gudman Orbender, have rejected the judgment of the Wheel clan. The banishment of the Black Mountain clan to the Isle of Despair for crimes against the dwarven world, namely the sharing of technology with the humans, is a more graven offense than that which it purports to avenge. I commit to stone my judgment on Logair and his clan, blinded in their madness to the extent that they would allow the elves to force their hand. The day the elves came, led by the warrior betrayers of the Wheel, was the day my destiny was writ upon the stone. Gudman Orbender would never be banished by the hand of an elf, no matter what untrue judgment of guilt were handed down. The voice of reason, usually so clearly heard by the dwarven kind, was shunned when it cried out to drive the human from our ancestral home. The Bates child sold the dwarven birthright to the world. As was he the charge of Stenner, so must be the guilt. This day shall be remembered for all the days of the Orbender, when the proudest of clans may be forced as sheep into a circle of banishment created by lowly elves, while warriors stand and do naught. The Orbender must reject all that his dwarven bones will him to do, as there must be one to stay and make record of this, the most evil of days. I scream for my brothers to fight the unfair judgment of the clan of all clans. I scream at them still. And that's all it says. So Mr. Drake will talk with this somewhat muddled dwarf in hopes that he can hopefully make some sense of it. Please, sir, I need to ask you some further questions. All answers are carved upon the pillar of truth. What is done is recalled for the eyes of eternity. Please, who is Logair? Logair, leader of the Wheel clan, cast the clan of the Black Mountains out. The elves must have bedeviled him with their magics. They attempt to control my mind even now. I can feel them in there. Why would dwarves let elves interfere in their affairs? Elves cowered in fear at the might of dwarven machines for eons past, waiting for their chance to set the dwarves upon themselves with the threat of war. Please, sir, your ramblings are confusing at best. What exactly are you trying to say? I'm trying to say what I'm trying to say. I can waste no more energy on these things. My traps need all of my attention. Please leave me be. Alright, and then realizing that he's not going, this fellow's too far gone, he's not going to get anything useful out of him, Mr. Drake takes his leave. So he's found out that the Black Mountain clan is now on some place called the Isle of Despair, so he's not exactly sure where that is, though. but he's going to return to Mr. Bates in Tarrant and report what he's found here. So, and luckily he doesn't have to backtrack all the way through the mines again, because on one of the corpses of the Malokian hand, he found this scroll of exiting, so he simply has to use that, and he's handily teleported right to the front of the Black Mountain mines. So, he's going to make his way back to Tarrant, and when we return, very briefly, he'll be before Mr. Bates, ready to make his report. So, be right back in a second. Alright, and we're back. Mr. Drake has made his way back to Tarrant and once again stands before Mr. Bates. So,
You have returned. Tell me, what news?
the dwarves were banished to the Isle of Despair because, well,
For the sake of the gods, out with it, man!
because they irresponsibly allowed their technology to spread to humans. Okay, and then for whatever reason, Mr. Bates, this line of his isn't voiced, so he seems taken aback a moment as he considers what you've told him. By the gods! It's as I always feared. I doomed them all. What have I done? My youthful impertinence. Here, some gold for your trouble. Could you do something further for me? You'd like me to go to the Isle of Despair, wouldn't you?
If you would. I know I've already asked much of you, but an old man needs to put his mind at ease.
Please, what exactly is the Isle of Despair?
The Isle of Despair is a penal colony. Extremely dangerous. The criminals are unceremoniously left on her shores to fend for themselves against the elements and the other inmates. I would be indebted to you, of course.
I'll do it, but how do I get there?
Go to the docks at Ashbury. You can find it on your map. Ask around for Edward Teach, a crusty old salt. He is in command of one of the boats that I use for special jobs.
And he'll take me? Can this man be trusted?
I trust him implicitly. There are rumors of a somewhat less than virtuous career on the high seas, but he's a good man should a difficult situation arise.
Well, that's reassuring.
I'll wire ahead to tell Teach to expect you. Chukka here is quite beneficial to have around for protection. If you're interested, you might be able to persuade him to accompany you on your journey.
Thank you for your generosity, sir. I'll apprise you of my findings. And if Mr. Drake wanted to at this point, he could recruit Chukka, Mr. Bates' bodyguard, to accompany him. And as you can see, Chukka's apparently a pretty refined and cultured half-ogre since he's wearing a smoking jacket. But Mr. Bates is already at his maximum number of followers, so he'll just proceed to Ashbury without him. Alright, and before we set out to Ashbury, well, actually, just to show you quickly where it is on the world map, here's Tarrant in the central part of the continent. The Isle of Despair is all the way over here to the east in the sea, and Ashbury, the port where Mr. Drake is to catch a ship to the Isle of Despair, is on the east coast here. So he's just going to basically head straight east. Before he sets out, I thought I'd just show you something quickly. On one of his recent level ups, Magnus got access to the fourth rank of the mechanical discipline, which allows him to make an item called eye gear. And the components for that are pocket watch parts and eyeglasses. Eye gear is a pretty fair way to make some easy money. The components themselves, the pocket watch parts cost about 100 gold apiece, and the eyeglasses are even cheaper than that. And combined, the eye gear will sell for about 800 or so gold. So we're just going to talk to Magnus and ask him to make a couple of pairs of those to be sold. Okay. And if we look at them, for whatever reason, I guess because they're a tech item, Magnus has automatically equipped a pair, even though his helmet is actually better for him as a melee fighter. But these are a good way to make money, and also if your character's a gunner, they're actually a pretty fair item that your character might want to wear. You can see that the eye gear grant a bonus to your character's perception of, they grant a bonus of +2, and perception is the ability that's linked to firearms. So, pretty fair item. Now, before he sets out to Ashbury, He's going to do a bit of shopping around Toronto and also get everyone's weapons and gear repaired from those damn ore golems. So when we return pretty soon, he'll be in Ashbury. So be right back in a second. Alright, and we're back. After a ridiculous number of random encounters, Mr. Drake has finally arrived at dusk in the port of Ashbury. And as he's making his way through the streets looking for an inn to spend the night, he hears off in the distance a frantic barking, so he rushes to investigate. And up ahead he sees what appears to be a gnome kicking a dog. So,
Why have you interrupted me?
Why are you kicking that dog?
This mangy mutt? You needn't concern yourself with him. A few more kicks and he'll not bother anyone ever again.
What did he do to deserve such treatment?
The cur went right into my home and he stole my dinner off the table. It's not the first time either. He's been skulking about for quite some time, but I caught him this time.
Well, he must have been quite hungry to dare enter your home.
Hungry? What do I care if a ragged mutt is hungry? Any beast stupid enough to steal from me is going to pay the price.
Well, I'd think that you'd feel some sort of pity for the creature.
If it were that hungry, it would go hunt its dinner down outside of town, not feed from me.
Well, perhaps it's lost and knows no better.
Why are you wasting your breath babbling on about this worthless creature?
Well, I don't want to see it hurt anymore.
Ha! You actually pity this? What a softy. I can't believe you actually care about such a mangy mutt. Oh wait, I'm feeling sad. Nobody loves me. Will you take care of me? What a sap.
It's apparent that you have no compassion, sir.
Ha! You feel so much for this stupid dog? Here, he's yours. Go on, nurse the poor little thing back to health. What a sap. What'll I tell the boys about you? Some man. What a joke. See you around, softy.
Yeah, I'm grateful. Alright, so Mr. Drake can go up and Virgil heals the dog. The dog gets up, and now the dog is a party member, so he's going to follow Mr. Drake around. He's called Worthless Mutt here. If we look at his character sheet, he's just called Dog. He's level 12, but so he's a good bit behind everyone else, but that really doesn't matter. He's one of the best melee fighters in the game. Obviously, since he's a dog, he doesn't focus on technology or magic. He's a straight-up melee fighter, and he's one of the few characters that can train in his skills. So he's already trained as an apprentice in melee, meaning he attacks very, very quickly. So he'll be a pretty good addition to the party, and he counts as a free member. So even though Mr. Drake only has a maximum of 4 followers, he's allowed to have the dog as an extra one. Alright, and Mr. Drake is going to slip into the Ashbury hostelry and look for a room. So when we return, it will be morning and Mr. Drake will be ready to see what's going on around Ashbury right before he looks for Mr. Teach, who's supposed to take him to the Isle of Dread. So, as always, thank you for watching and please stay tuned.